Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Step Chat here from the Fortress of Solitude located in Preston, Washington. Excuse me, just outside of Issaquah, Washington. Thank you all very much for joining me once again. Let's get on with tonight's presentation of Step Chat. With that being said, first of all, for those of you, I know it's Sunday, for those of you that didn't pay attention this morning, if you're registered for Float 2026, you, as an academic attendee, you received an email this morning in reference to Float Notes number 4. That was sent to you at 6 a.m. Pacific time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern time, which is whatever the hell time it is where you are. At some point on Tuesday, I will have time to get to the sponsor email. Please note, there is no time listed. I'm not making any commitments. So it'll go out on Tuesday. I just don't know what time on Tuesday. But I do, for those of you sponsors that are watching, I do have a very important conversation to have with you. Once again, it is happening. One of the problems with being in a destination city, Reno is considered a tourist type city. And the problem with us being there is that we have now gotten our website, the floatconvention.com website, has gotten on the radar of scammers. So what's happening is sponsors are getting phone calls saying, "Hi, this is Joe Blow from Travel Advantage, and we're here to we have you got your room booked yet for Float? Oh, we've got to address that right now. And here's the good news. We've actually got a couple of limited rooms that are below the convention rate. We just need your credit card information." They're being approached by both email and by phone. Now, the reason this is happening is kind of a double-edged sword. Part of your sponsorship with Float has your logo and your link on the website. That's kind of what you want. Well, unfortunately, that is also how the scammers are finding you. They're clicking on those links. They're going to your websites. They're calling your companies and saying, "Hey, this is what's up." The only people that are going to provide you a link to register for actual float rates are us. All right, folks, let's get to a specific Reno conversation. One of the things that was included in today's email blast that went out to all of our attendees is that we are now accepting float bonus classes. For those of you that we talked about this last week, but for those of you that aren't familiar, Float offers a series of bonus classes on Wednesday. That would be January 28th. They are 90-minute classes, and the only people that are eligible to take these classes are people that are coming as general class general attendees. In the email, it says that the cutoff date is September 2nd. That is the Tuesday after Labor Day. So you've got just over a week. So if you are interested in offering bonus classes at Float, get them turned in now. Sponsorships. In the email that's going out to you on Tuesday, this information will be available for you to purchase. Remember, the tote bag sponsorships were not included in the original package. We didn't have the pricing information then. We have it now. So if you are interested in being the sponsor of the Float tote bags, by all means, that'll be going up for grabs on Tuesday. That'll be available then. On top of that, Float is in the process of securing a 10-foot by 12-foot marketing space at the airport that every single person coming in from the airport will walk past to get to baggage claim, if that's something you're interested in. It turns out, so we originally offered up photo op sponsorships, and they were the first things gone. It turns out we have room for more. So we're going to put 2 more. Look for those this coming Tuesday. And as we talked about last week, the DJ sponsorships at Float have been reduced in price. So sometimes companies just want to say, you know what, we still want our branding out there, but we don't want to have to do anything. So here's a check. Go do it, right? That's kind of it. Let's get to the vendor showcase. I am thrilled to share with you. I talked about this last week. We had a new vendor coming to Float that's sort of an old vendor. The brand new Pioneer Balloon Company is coming to Float. The new folks that took over ownership of Pioneer Balloon, they still produce the Funsational line of products and those kind of things. They are coming to Float. And by the way, I just want to go on record. They are looking for someone to decorate their booth. So if you're watching this video and you think you're more than qualified to decorate the booth of the Pioneer Balloon Company coming back to float, then you should let them know, because they are looking for someone who's already registered for float. We've never had a formal policy on this until now. Moving forward on September 2nd, this is the new policy moving forward. If you are expanding your booth, let's say you're in a single booth and you want to double and all the booths around you are gone, and now you're going to have to move to another booth because you want to double and get a bigger footprint. That's fine. There's no problem with that whatsoever. But if you want to move booth to booth, if you have a single booth and a different single booth opens up and you're like, oh God, I want to move there, and you're not looking to expand your footprint, starting on September 2nd, there's going to be a $50 charge in order to make the lateral move. This Saturday is the end of our favorite faculty contest. You can save $50 off the registration fee. Zoe Adams-Jones, if you want to support Zoe in the competition and get $50 off, the coupon code is ZOE. It's presented by our friends at Globus Payaso. Andrea Camacho, presented by our friends at Calisan. If you want to save $50 and support Andrea in the contest, use the coupon code Camacho, her last name. That'll save you $50 off as long as you sign up by Saturday. Arturo Castro, presented by Gemar, who was the special guest last week on La Familia Float. If you want to get it $50 off and support Arturo, use his name, Arturo, in the code. The ladies of Bubblegum Balloons, if you want to support Bubblegum in the contest and save $50 off a registration to float, use the password or use the coupon code Bubblegum. One word, not two, one word, Bubblegum. Jessica Cruz Torres out of Southern Cal. If you want to support her, sponsored by our friends at Joker Party Supply, type in her name, Jessica, to save $50 off. Oswaldo Dorado from Globus Payaso out of Mexico. You want to save $50? Use Oswaldo's code, Oswaldo, his first name. Eduardo Flores, our good friend out of Mexico, coming back again, courtesy of our friends at Megashine and Novedades Pema. If you want to save $50, use Eduardo's name as the coupon code. Didi Forgione out of Boston, Balloonacy Boston. If you want to support Deco Champ and Didi in the contest, use her code Didi. That is D-E-D-E, not D-I-D-I, like most people type. Well, a lot of people use D-I-D-I. Don't do that. It's D-E-D-E. Melissa Fox, our good friend out of St. Louis, Balloon Theory out of St. Louis, sponsored by our friends at Metallic. Type in her last name, Fox. Save $50. Brian Getz, our good friend out of Indiana from Bandsy Balloons. If you want to support him in the contest and our friends at Metallic, then use his last name, Getz, G-E-T-Z, Zulu, G-E-T-Z. Dawn Gertman, sponsored by our friends at Decomex. You need to use Dawn's code, D-A-W-N. Dawn. Nicole, I'll get to you in a second. Leslie Hicks, the lovely Leslie from Southern California, sponsored by Gemar. Leslie's first name gets you the coupon code and $50 off the registration fee. Mary Hohikian, another Southern Californian, presented by our friends at Elatex. If you want to use her coupon code and support her in the contest, it's M-E-R-I. Lily Jimenez out of Miami, Florida, presented by the Creative Heart Studio. Use the coupon code Lily with 3 L's, L-I-L-L-Y, before Saturday. Amanda Mahoney, the better half of the Mahoney family from Balloons Every Day in Dallas, sponsored by Anagram. Use the coupon code Amanda for $50 off. Sarah Meyer, Bright Balloon and Wisconsin Balloon Decor, presented by our friends at Having a Party. Want to save $50? Use her code Sarah, no H, S-A-R-A. Tabitha Miller out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, presented by Batalic. Use her first name, Tabitha, to save $50. Alyssa Murray Lane, last year's Designer of the Year, courtesy of our friends at Fanfare. Use her code Alyssa, A-L-I-S-S-A. Andrea Papolino out of Italy with Prima Balloons. Use his company name, Papo Art, P-A-P-O Art, to save $50 off. Jenny Porter out of Canada, out of Ontario, presented by our friends at Tough Tex. Use her name, Jenny, with a Y. Noelle Ramiro out of Florida, presented by our friends at High Float. Be sure to use her first name of Noelle, Noeli, to save $50. Ariel Rush and Ray Walsh, because we got 2 first names and 2 last names, we're using the sponsor code AAB, presented by our friends at All American Balloons. Save $50. Jill Shortreed, the academic director at Anagram Balloons. Use Jill's first name, Jill, to save $50. Brianna Silvio out of Massachusetts. Use Brianna's first name, Briana, presented by our friends at Rainbow Balloons, and save $50 off your registration. Nikki Scrobot and Thomas Dorsher out of Rockin' Robot Party, because they got 2 first names and 2 last names. Sponsored by our friends at Tough Text. We're using their company name of Robot. ROBOT. Use Robot, save $50 off. Alexander Salamatin out of Russia, presented by our friends at Gemar. Use the coupon code Alexander to save $50 off. And bringing up the rear, but certainly not least, Jesus Tejada out of Los Angeles, California, presented by our friends at Cool Party Balloons. Use his first name, Jesus, to save $50 off. And remember, you must register by Saturday for the discount. So no, you don't. You can do it tonight. You just pick whatever teacher you want to support and go for there. Please remember, it's only good for the academic price, which is $6.95. Last week, we talked about shipping stuff to Float. If you ship something to yourself at the hotel, it is going to cost you to receive the item. Directly across the street from our hotel is a Walmart. If you're in a situation like Amazon, like you got to order something, you can order it to be shipped to the Walmart store and pick it up at customer service. And the store itself is open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Let's take a break from Reno. Let's talk about Aloft, everybody. For those of you that were in attendance on Tuesday, we had a fabulous class presented by Jesse Marclaro, the Getting Returns on Reels. There was some really good stuff in that class. For those of you that missed it, no big deal. If you're a member of Aloft, it'll be available very soon, because this coming week, before the holiday weekend, we're actually a lot slower this week once I get through tomorrow. Now, for those of you that were on the live at the end of the class on Tuesday, you already know this. It's the ladies from Bubblegum Balloons. They are going to be our next virtual class instructor, presented by our friends at Anagram, a hauntingly hip Halloween class is going to be on September 23rd. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. Because they are broadcasting from England, we are adjusting the time to better accommodate them. Because remember, our normal time would be like 11 p.m. there. So we are going to host the class at 12 p.m. Eastern time. That is 9 a.m. Pacific time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. Okay, now that we have done all of that, let's get to what I like to refer to as the street level content for Float and the Floativerse. Let's start with today's Step Chat survey. A lot of people talk about like the Float tote bags and how much stuff there is to bring home, and everybody gets all excited about that and everything else. And people say, I need to bring an empty suitcase just for the Float tote bag. Well, then I thought to myself, how many of you actually do it? How many of you actually pack an empty bag or intentionally check a bag that's got only halfway full or whatever, so that way you can bring all the stuff back you get at a convention? 61% of you at the time that the survey was, the results were checked, 61% of you said, yes, I often bring a second travel bag in my suitcase for this very thing. So what they'll do is they'll bring like a soft-sided bag that is in the suitcase that you're already bringing, and you bring a second bag. That way you've already got a second bag to bring home a bunch of stuff. Now that bag may be a carry-on. It may not necessarily be a checked bag, but it's a secondary bag that you specifically bring to do nothing but bring home Float stuff. As opposed to 39% of you said, no, I don't bring home I don't bring what I don't want to bring, and I throw that stuff out, or I give it away, and I only bring home the stuff but I'll intentionally leave room so that I can bring stuff home. So there you go. So I do want to take this opportunity to thank everybody who took the time to respond to the survey. Thank you. Those of you that are signed up for Float, you're eligible to join the Float Forum. That is a private Facebook group exclusively for nothing but people that are registered to attend Float. Again, if you're looking for a roommate, Float the Facebook group. or the Float Facebook group. Sorry, Float the Convention Facebook group. There's a pinned post at the top. You can click on there, add your comments in, and try to find yourself a roommate for the convention. Save some costs. Do it right. Don't forget that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. We ask you to like our videos there. Please subscribe to the channel to help us with engagement. Share our posts with whoever you think might be interested in them. We would really appreciate that. Also, I'll run and remind everybody about this week's schedule. As usual, we're doing the live show right now here on Facebook. Tomorrow, the full episode 278, will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. And then on Tuesday, the summary episode will be uploaded. Don't forget, if you want to drop a couple pounds before the convention, join the Fit for Float Facebook group that is conducted by our good friend Lisa McIntyre. She's hosting that, and she's got weigh-in Wednesdays and some other stuff. And if you haven't gotten enough of Lisa, dear God, join her this coming Tuesday for Kicking Back with Lisa Mack. That show will be broadcast right here on this page, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. And with that, that will do it for tonight's slideshow episode of Step Chat. I did forget to bring something up earlier. I didn't really forget it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. We got some new merch. The Float bucket hat is officially in. I am debating, and he's eyeballing it like he's going to eat it. I am debating. It's so weird. I put this hat on, and now I'm hearing myself echoing off the computer. So weird. We are debating the possibility of putting these on the Orange Store and selling them as retail now. But, of course, the problem that we run into with that is then we have to add shipping on top of it. So that's a thing, right? So there we go. Pia Guadalupe, I want one. I'm sure you do. And you, my dear, will rock it. Yeah, so we're debating actually putting merch on the store again so that you could purchase it ahead of time. You can purchase whatever. Okay. Thank you all very much. See y'all later. Have a great week.